The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
Well, Tusculum is a team probably better than their record. They got beaten a double overtime game to Lenore-Ryan. They've had some other close games. They are a very capable team that more balance on offense than they've ever had, or at least that I remember. They got a 100-yard rusher and they got a 300-yard passer close to it. And so, no, I think he's over 300, I think. But anyway, they got very, very talented, skilled people. They got two wide receivers that's breaking school records, and they've had some school records. And maybe an NCAA record for two receivers on the same team with the yardage that they've got and the number of catches that they've got. So, you know, very capable football team. They defensively are got some really talented people. Secondary looks very sound. Linebackers that can run. They're big up front and are doing some things defensively that can create problems. They're good. They're better than I wish they were, and so we have got to go out and play better than we played the last 2 weeks.
You bring up the quarterback who's Lancaster, sophomore signal caller who seems pretty heady. What makes him a threat back there for the Pioneers?
Well, he's got a quick release. And they feature him a whole lot with the things that they do offensively, and he's a typical Tusculum quarterback. It's going to throw it a lot and throw it pretty good.
With his skill set, I mean, when you think of Tusculum quarterbacks, Bo Cordell's the one that comes to mind. How does he compare to him?
Maybe not as, at least early on in Cordell's career. He'd pull it down a heartbeat. Maybe not as quick to pull it down and run as Cordell was, but still can hurt you with the run. And they do some plays with him running. They do some quarterback draw and and a couple other things, and he can hurt you by pulling it down and running.
Isaac Robinson, their running back, you brought him up as a 100-yard rusher. What's his skill set like?
Well, big and fast. He's big, and he likes to get a little space so he can show his skill, and he's tough.
You brought up that their defense has improved. How impressive is that, considering that that's a unit that loses an NFL player in Kashawn Lyons?
Well, I think they got one or two that's in that category now. They've got some people that can play, and they always have had. And I think the main thing is to not let them dictate play. You've got to make them make some adjustments and do some things that they probably would rather not do. And so that's a challenge.
What is it about this game being at the end of the season? Does that do anything for you as a coach playing Tusculum in a traditional rivalry game at the very end of the year?
No, and I struggle a little bit with what everybody says is a traditional rivalry game. We've been playing a whole bunch of other people a lot longer than we have Tusculum. They're all rivalry games, as far as we're concerned. But the fact that we're a few miles away from Tusculum makes it, I guess, what people consider a rivalry game. And so we've played them last year in the middle of the year and this year at the end of the year. And the only thing I know is that it's the next game, and it's the one that means a whole lot as far as us playing any other games, and so that's the reason it's important.
Justin Houston's their top receiving target. I think he's second in the country right now, over 9 catches per game. What do you do to try to slow him down? Is it a mentality of let him get his and let's shut everybody else down, or do you try to shut him down one-on-one?
Well, not anybody shut him down because of the patterns they run with him. They're going to get the ball in his hands somehow. It might be a 2-yard crossing pattern, but they're going to get the ball in his hands. And so the main thing for us is to, if he was the only one, that'd be one thing. But they got about 4 that can catch and run. And so we've got to make tackles, maybe 5. And so we've got to make tackles. We've got to, in zone coverage, we got to make tackles and make sure that there's not any yards after the catch. Or limit those yards. And then the second thing we got to do is in man coverage, try to figure out ways where we don't get picked and that we are able to cover them. And both of those are tough assignments.
Conversely, your defensive backfield, very deep and very talented. Can you remember a time where you had a group like this that had a week like they had last week?
No, not with 5 interceptions, although I kept hearing that it tied the school record. And I'm sure that I remember one time against Wingate, we had a whole bunch of interceptions. We had one guy that intercepted 3 that ball game. And so 4 that ball game. And so I know but this was we had 5 different guys intercept a pass, and that's always a good sign that there's 5 different guys that picks one. So I'm hoping that opens the door for some other good things to happen this week.
Does it do anything for the team's psyche after seeing the latest regional rankings to know that if you win, you have a very good shot of hosting another game here?
Oh, I'm sure that's it's not just the kids, it's the coaches. We're excited for the fact. But we got to remember that we're just standing looking in. We're not in yet. And we got to understand that that can change. You remember what happened year before last? We were out of the picture as far as hosting a game. And in the last week, all kinds of things happened, and we move up 3 or 4 places and host a football game. And so now we're in a position to host a game, but there's several people right around us that's got ball games that they may win or lose. In fact, there's 2 of them are playing each other. And so they could very easily, that thing was shuffled. Don't ever put your paycheck on that one because a lot of things can happen.
Senior Day. What's that day honoring? Really a smaller group than normal mean to you?
Well, we got, I think we got 18 seniors. And it's just the fact that we had 27 last year makes it seem smaller. And it's not senior day as far as we're concerned. It's senior week. And we do a whole lot of things to celebrate our seniors and have a good time all week. And we started that yesterday, and it'll be fun to, it's always fun to see what the Lord has done in some guys' lives when they was 18 years old when they got here, and all the things that have happened to them in the last 4 or 5 years.
I kind of get the sense that you're referring to senior speeches where players get up.
Yeah, testimonies, senior statements about what's happened in their life or what is happening in their life. Yeah.
Are there any of those that have stuck out to you over the years?
There's a whole bunch of them that sticks out, but not. If I started naming names, I'd mess up bad on it. So I'm just going to say that it's. Some years are better than others as far as the quality of statements, and I think this year will be a great year. I really do.